Well, it's a little windy out here today, but I got the motor out of that V6 and I need to put a motor into it now. This right here is the donating car. This car here did me good this year. It brought me home 2 first places, a 5th or 6th place, and a 2nd place. It's not that bad, but honestly it's bad. The front's still holding up good, but I used the back end way too much. As you can see, the struts are way inside the car and she's bellied right out. I've taken all my stuff out of it. I still have a battery box and my cable and what looks to be a hammer and some toggle switches. Alright, I forgot a lot of stuff in here. We'll just say I forgot a lot of stuff. But I need this motor out. It's been a great motor. It's never given me any issues. And I need it out. So I'm going to try to hook a car up to this and give this a pull and see if I can get this to get it in front of the shop. And then we'll start removing it. I'd like to just kind of cut the front of it off, but leave the subframe in it, pull the axles out, and basically get it so that I can jam the V6 into this and just push it back, because I'm not keeping the subframe because it is bent quite bad. But yeah, it'll be getting a new overhaul. One of the transmission lines is broken, so we'll be fixing that. I took my shifter off of it. It's been an overall great motor. We're probably going to keep the power steering rack, transmission cooler, all that fun stuff. So let's get it dragged out in front of the shop and see if we can start tearing this thing apart. Well, I got everything out of this thing now. I didn't really film too much because of how damn cold it is out here. My hands just kept getting freezing cold. We just cut the subframe, pulled it out. I couldn't even get this bolt out because it was stripped, and I couldn't get my hands in down behind there because how bent the car was, so I just took the Sawzall and cut that right off the chassis. Well, I took everything I need out of it, and as soon as I start a video I get a phone call, so I'll be right back. So like I was saying, I got the car out. Sorry, I got the motor out of the car. Holy. So like I was saying, I got the motor out of the car, and it's just been so cold. I just want to go inside and warm up for a bit, maybe get a bite to eat, so I'll probably do that here in a bit. It was a little difficult. Everything was so twisted, it didn't really want to come apart. I ended up taking the dash bar out for a different car because I need to put a factory one in, steering column, all that fun stuff. I had to get a mini grinder to cut the bolts because they were all bent at the bottom. But this is probably one of the most rustiest cars with floorboards for Camrys I've ever seen. And it just goes to show you that even though the floor was completely rotted through, this car did do really well. It won Barrie, and then it went to Sauble Beach and took 2nd. And then it went to Aurelia, won Aurelia, but it took some pretty bad catastrophic damage in Aurelia in the back. And then it went from Aurelia to Grand Valley, and in Grand Valley the back end just got plowed in, and it was a very muddy track, as you can tell by how much mud actually came up through the floorboards. And yeah, it's pretty much the end of the car. But on a plus note, it's not the end of this motor transmission. This motor transmission has actually done me very, very, very well over the years. I bought this actually used, and when I got it, I believe the motor had 4 runs on it. And then I took it out and put it in the car that went to Mount Forest last year. That was the car I got 10 runs out of, but only 8 on this motor. And then I put it into this, and I got another 4 runs plus a heat and a feature. So that's technically 5 runs out of this motor. And then another figure 8, so that's another 6. So now we're at like, what? Roughly, I'm going to say 14, but 4 of them, maybe 3 of them were figure 8 races. So this has been a great motor, and it's holding together awesome. It is actually out of oil, so I'm going to definitely take a look into that. There's like nothing on it. Oh, there's a little bit on it, just on the other side. So it'll be getting an oil change, it'll be getting all that fun stuff, and it will be put back into another car. It'll be put back into this car we're building right now. Yeah, so other than that, I've had great luck with this thing. I'm going to check timing belt, but I think it's good because I got it out. It's the proper time to check timing. I'm going to check all my tie rods because, as you can see, they're not reinforced. so I'm going to make sure that they're all good. They're not getting a whole bunch of play. Struts are all good. I haven't had any issues with those. Going to make sure the axles are good. I don't remember having any clicking sounds or anything like that, so I think the axles are all good. As you guys can see, I put a new power steering line onto it. So, happy I did that. Steering rack looks good. Everything on this actually still looks fantastic. And it will be being put into that. The only damage I can see is to this fitting right here and the part of the transmission right there. So we're going to make sure that this thing's good. Take it for a couple little test runs before we go to the Derby, which is still 6 months away. Yeah, so that's about it for today. We're just going to hook up to this with a chain, drag it back, and try to push it back into its spot, and then we'll go grab some lunch. So thanks everybody for watching. The motor is now out of this car, ready to go into the car that's in the garage, and I am ready to stop working in the cold because this really sucks. Like I said, it's got to be -5, -10 right now. Yesterday was +15, so my body's really not used to it, and it's damn cold. So like I said, we're just going to have to fill this thing up over the winter now, just like the rest of those cars. And just got to be aware that you can't throw anything over top of those holes, that's small parts. So we'll have to throw all the small parts on this side. But thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Sorry if this video was a bit short, and sorry I didn't film removing the motor. But like I said, too cold, hands are cold, I'm extremely cold. See you guys back here tomorrow.